Hello everyone. Welcome to lesson 3 of this multi-part series on Zotero 7. If you have missed the previous lessons, links are in the description. In this lesson, we will explore how to take both item and standalone notes in Zotero. The new Zotero 7 has added several interesting features to enrich note-taking, and I'll demonstrate these to you in this video. We will also see how to automatically create notes using PDF annotations and also by selecting text on the web. If you are into note-taking, creating standalone notes in Zotero provides a super easy way to document your thoughts without the need to use any fancy note-taking software. You can tag your notes for easy search and relate them with other notes too. And what's super cool is that you can get your notes pasted inside Word, LibreOffice, and Google Docs. So without further ado, let's start. So we are inside Zotero. In lesson 1, I had briefly shown you how to attach a note to a particular item. Let's go in a little more detail in this particular lesson. So we have this iconic book here. I have just finished reading this particular book and I want to attach a note to this particular book. So I can do this in multiple ways. I can just right click on it and add a note. This is number 1. Exact same thing can be done from here. You can just come here and click on it and go to notes and add the note from here. Or otherwise, after clicking on this item, you can come to this icon and then choose new item note. So all three routes lead to the exact same thing. A note will be added to this particular item. I'm going to right click on it and add a note. So as you can see, a new note has been added here. And in Zotero 7, quite a few new tools have been provided on top, and we will explore them in a second. You will notice that the note doesn't have any title. So the first line of the note becomes the title of the note. So as you can see, I just added a line on top of this note. I started typing, and the first line then became the title of this particular note. So it's important to always start your note with the title of the note. Now, once I have that, I can start freely typing, and let me start typing and adding some text to this. The silent spring is an iconic, and I'll just keep typing. So you can see I've added my first paragraph, and the moment I press enter, I am taken on to the next block. You can see these icons here to the left as you hover on this particular paragraph, which means that each paragraph is a separate block of text. So I can keep on typing and add a few more paragraphs. So I have 3 paragraphs here. And as I was just mentioning, each one of these paragraphs is a block. So what you can do is that if at any time you feel that you ought to have started from this paragraph rather than this paragraph, you can just grab hold of this and move this block up or down as required. So this is the advantage of having every paragraph in a text block, that you can just simply grab hold of a paragraph and move it up or down. Up here, there are quite a few tools that you can use. So let me show you these. So this is the format text tool. So let's just select a piece of text and then click on this format text button. So you can make use of common formatting tools from here. And say, for example, you wanted to change the title to heading 1 style. So you can just click on this and so on and so forth. This tool here can change the color of the text. So say, for example, I wanted to have my title in a different color. So I'm going to come and click on a color. This one here can highlight text. So if, say, for example, I wanted to highlight a piece of text, I'm going to select it and click on this and choose a color, and this text will get highlighted. The next button is to clear formatting. So if you wanted to clear formatting on a particular selection, you can select that particular piece and click on this button. And as you can see, that highlighting has gone. This button is to insert a link in the text, and this can be done in 2 ways. Let me show you. So let's say I have a link. So I can just say read a few pages of this book here, and I can just come here and paste that link. So as you can see, the link has been pasted in my note. And when I click on it, you can see this small link here. You can edit this link, you can unlink it, and so on and so forth. And when you click on this link, you will be taken to that particular page. and you can then go ahead and read a few pages of this book. Now this link, while it is working, it is not really looking very good. So what I can do is I'll just select it and delete it. And the second way in which I can add a link is I'll just highlight this little piece of text here and then come to link. And here you see I get a window. So I can just come here and paste my link and then go ahead and click on this little right button here. And the link is now embedded inside this text. And when you click on this piece of text, you can then come here and then click on the link itself, and you'll be transported to that particular page. And this is how you can neatly enter links inside your notes through this particular button. So this button here is to insert a citation. So when I click on this, I can then choose any item from my library to cite. And in this particular case, I want to cite this particular item right here. So as you can see, this is by a library. So I'm going to come here and type the name of the author. So I will say line, and you can see that I'm being shown this particular resource. So I'll just go ahead and click on it and then just go ahead and press enter. So when I go back to my note, you will see that I have a citation here. And I can say has provided a great review of this book. So this is how I can put in citations. And when you click on this citation, you will see two more choices. You can either go ahead and edit this citation, which will bring you back again to this particular box. Say, for example, you wanted to remove and change this citation to something else. You can do that here. Or otherwise, if you were to come here and click on this, you will be taken to that particular item directly. And then you can come here and click on your notes back again, and you are back in again into your notes. And once you are done, to get rid of this little box, just click on this arrow button here, and you will have your citation inside this particular notes. You can also add pictures inside your notes. So just open a folder where you have a picture, and you can just drag and drop it, and you will have your picture inside this particular note. And of course, you can always move this picture up or down depending upon your preference. You can also insert an image by right-clicking in an empty area of the note and going to insert and clicking on image. And then choose your image and just go ahead and click on open. So that image will be inserted here. You can select a piece of text, right-click, and then go to align and justify that text to your satisfaction. And if you are working with multiple languages in this note, what we can do is we can install dictionaries for multiple languages inside Zotero. So right-click and go to languages, and here you will see that using this add remove dictionaries, I have added Spanish to my dictionary collection and then just gone ahead and press OK. You can choose any dictionary that you like and just go ahead and click on OK. So as you can see, I have two dictionaries installed here, English and Spanish. So let me just paste in a little text in Spanish, and you can see here that it's showing me that I have a lot of spelling mistakes in Spanish. That is because I have selected my dictionary as English. So I'm going to right click and go ahead, and I can choose either both. So I can click on Spanish as well, and you will see that all spelling mistakes have gone. If I make a spelling mistake here, you will see that it's now showing me that I'm making a spelling mistake in Spanish, and I can just right click and choose this, and you will see that it has corrected the spelling with the accent and all. However, if you're using both dictionaries simultaneously, as I'm doing now, both of them are checked, there may be some words which are making sense in both languages. Say, for example, if I change this, you will find that it's not showing me as a spelling mistake in Spanish because it's correct in English. So what I can do is I can come to languages and just disconnect my English dictionary for the time being. And you will now see that all English words are being shown as incorrect spellings, which they are not, because they're just simply being viewed through the lens of the Spanish dictionary. But I'm interested in this particular word here. So right click and choose this word and complete my word. So I can use multiple dictionaries and operate them simultaneously, or just simply restrict my note to a particular language dictionary. You also have an option of choosing left to right or right to left for certain languages. So most languages run left to right. So you can see this here in English. Some languages like Hebrew, Arabic, Persian, etc., that run from right to left. So if you are trying to take notes in one of these languages, you can come here and choose right to left. And you can see now that you have text movement from right to left. So this is a great addition for people who are using languages that run from right to left, and they can take notes inside Zotero in their own language. So this button is for find and replace. So you can just click on it and look for a particular word or phrase and just keep going down or up using these buttons, searching for it if the note is very long. And you can also choose to check this on and replace it with another word. So say, for example, I want to replace the word with publication. So I can just do this one by one, reach this particular place and then click and replace the next one. Or I can choose replace all to replace book with publication all at once. Click on this one more time and these options are gone. Coming back to this button, you will see that we have some more options here. You can start a bulleted list. So just keep typing. And you can also start a bulleted list just simply by typing a minus sign and then pressing space. So a bulleted list will begin and you can start typing. You can also start an ordered list or a numbered list. Just click on this one here and you can start typing now. You can directly create a numbered list by just simply typing the number 1 dot and then pressing space and typing something and then enter. So you will see that the next number will appear and you can keep typing. Let me show you this option here. It's block quote. So when you click on it, you can then put a quote here. So I have a quote. I'm just going to go ahead and paste it. You will see that it appears very distinctly inside the text. And this is what block quote does. I will tell you about the math block when I talk about standalone notes. So this is how you can create very rich item notes inside Zotero. They are called as item notes because they are attached to a particular item. When you click on this note is under this parent item. So directly typing your notes is one way of creating a note, but there can be other ways also in which you can create notes. Let's try to see how we can create notes through PDF annotations. So for this, let's say, for example, we have a reference here and we have access to the PDF. So I'm going to double click on it and open this particular PDF. So as I'm reading, I would like to highlight some of these passages as I read along. So I'm going to come here and just simply pick up this one. This one looks interesting. And you will see that the highlight appears here in the left pane as described in the previous lessons. I read along and I find something else that is interesting. So my highlight button is on. And this is also true for the underline button as well. Same thing. So just come here and catch hold of something else. And that also appears here. And then I'm reading forward and I find something else that is interesting. So I will highlight that as well. So I have 3 highlights that were of interest while I was reading this paper. So once I'm done, I'm just going to close this PDF and I'm going to come again to my parent item, which was this paper by Jasanoff. And I will right click on it. And you will see that because there are annotations in the child PDF, there is an option here that says add note from annotations. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this and you will see that a new note has now been added under this particular item, the parent item. And this is having all the 3 annotations that I had highlighted inside the paper. So this is another way of creating a note. You can annotate the PDF as you read it, and then just simply come to the parent item, right click and add note from annotations. Now there is a third way of creating a note, and let me show you that. And this is when you are capturing something from a website. So currently I am on the WHO page for climate change. So while reading this web page, I find a few things interesting. So just like we did for the PDF, we are going to select this particular text of interest. And as we roll down, we find more interesting passages. So just press Control and then select another one. So you have both of them selected. And then down again, and I can come here and press Control and pick up something else of interest. Now, I currently do not have this reference inside Zotero. And the normal way to bring this inside is to just click on this particular button right here. So instead of clicking on this Zotero button, as we have been doing to capture this particular web page inside Zotero, this time around, I'm going to come to any one of my selected pieces of text, and then I'm going to right click and then choose Save to Zotero, and then create Zotero item and note from this selection. So just go ahead and click on this, and you will see that this reference has now been captured inside Zotero. Let's head back to Zotero and locate this reference. So as you can see, this reference has been captured inside Zotero. And when we expand it, you will see that there is a note here. When you click on this note, you will see that all the passages that we had selected are now part of this particular note. And you can move this note under any other item as well. So this is how you can create notes by selecting text on web pages. Now there is a second category of notes inside Zotero, and these notes are called as standalone notes. So the concept of a standalone note is quite obvious, as the name suggests, that it's a note that is not attached to any particular item. So previously we had seen this note. This is an item note because it is under Silent Spring. So this note is about this particular item right here, the parent item. The concept of a standalone note is that it is not attached to any particular item. We can create standalone notes easily inside Zotero. So to create a standalone note, just come here and click on this drop down and then go ahead and click on this new standalone note. So you will see that a new note has been created here, and it doesn't have a name. So we are going to put in the name of this particular note in the first line itself. I'm using a statistics topic as a subject for this example note, just to show you how to write equations and how to insert code. So I'm going to type in a title, Guide to Z-score. I can select and give this heading 1 and maybe also a color. So I can keep typing. So I've just typed in my first paragraph. Now, I need not type this all the time, and I can make use of voice typing, and this is particularly quite easy inside Windows 11. So all you need to do is to just activate your voice typing. So press the Windows button and then go ahead and press H. So you will see that the voice typing is now active, and I can now go ahead and dictate whatever I want to dictate. So I'm going to go ahead and dictate. The absolute value of Z represents the distance between that raw score X and the population mean in units of standard deviation. Full stop. Z is negative when the raw score is below the mean, comma, positive when above. Full stop. New line. So as you can see, I have voice typed this particular piece of text, and this is a great convenience. So I can go ahead and insert images, block quotes, citations, etc. in this note, as I have shown before. But what I wish to show here is how to insert mathematical equations using a math block. So let me show this to you. So my text says that it can be calculated using the following formula. So what I need to do now is to right click and come to insert and insert a math block. So as you do this, you will find that a block is created, and it starts with $2 and ends with $2. And if I had knowledge of LaTex mathematical markdown codes, I can type in an equation and it will be beautifully displayed inside my note. So let me show this to you as an example. So in this particular case, I'm just going to go ahead and say Z is equal to backslash frac, start a curly bracket, and then say X minus backslash mu for population mean, close curly brackets, start a new curly bracket, and then backslash sigma, and then close the curly bracket. So these are codes that are standard codes, LaTeX codes. And when you are done writing this equation, and when you click on outside this box, you will see that you have a beautifully displayed equation as it should actually appear. If you click on this once again, you will be taken back to that box and you can make some corrections, etc. So to insert an equation, all you need to do is to just create a new paragraph, right click, go to insert, choose math, and then go ahead and type in your equation. I'm going to show you one more example, even though it is not connected with the subject of this note. So this could be backslash sum underscore curly bracket I is equal to 1 raised to the power another curly bracket, maybe 10 curly brackets close, and then x underscore I. And when you click on any white portion outside the box, you have a beautifully displayed equation. So this equation was just for an example. It is not connected to the z-score. Many times we also need to write an equation in line, which means basically that as you are writing something, you need to have an equation as part of the written text rather than as a separately displayed formula. So we can just do that quite easily by just simply typing. We use the... So I need to write a mathematical symbol here. I can insert a mathematical symbol or equation in line inside a text by simply typing $1 and then just going ahead and typing my LaTeX Markdown, sigma raised to the power 2. And once I'm done, I'm going to close it with a $. And as I move ahead, you will see that the symbol or equation appears in line to denote variance. So you can use mathematical symbols in line inside your Zotero notes by just simply using one single $sign as you type, then type your LaTeX Markdown, and then close it with another $ symbol, and you can have your equation in line. As you can see on the screen, I have created another standalone note showing some more examples of LaTeX Markdown used to display some nicely formatted equations. The Markdown used to display equations is highlighted in yellow. If you're not familiar with LaTeX Markdown, I will be including links to 2 resources from where you can know more about these codes. This is one of those references. And as you scroll down, you will see many examples of what you have to write and what will be displayed. So you can become familiar with the LaTeX codes for mathematical equations using these resources. So links are in the description and you can follow them up later on. Now, many times when you are writing your notes, you might have the requirement to insert blocks of code. This is particularly true for people who engage in programming. So you can do this quite easily inside Zotero notes. You can insert chunks or blocks of code in your note and make them stand out very distinctly as compared to other text. To do this, all you have to do is to start on a new line, as you can see here, and then just simply go to your Format Text button, click on it, come down and choose monospaced. So when you click on this, you will see that a code block has started, and you can then either type code or paste code. In this particular case, I have some code that I hurriedly wrote for this example, and it's in R programming language. So I'm just going to go ahead and paste it. So as you can see, the code appears inside the code block, and the code block has a gray background, which makes it really very distinct from other pieces of text. And when you want to come out of this code block and move on to the next line, just press Ctrl and Enter. And so you are now out of the code block and you can continue typing in your note. This code block can also be created using a simple markdown by typing in 3 backticks, which is usually found on the key that is just under Escape on many laptops, as you can see in the picture on the screen. So just go ahead and type in 3 backticks, 1, 2, and 3. And the moment you do that, the same code block is activated and you can either type or paste your code inside this block. It is important to create the code block first and then type or paste your code inside the code block rather than typing your code, selecting it, and then coming here and doing monospaced. If you first type code directly into the note, select it, and then change it to monospaced, lines get messed up. The same is with this. This is also monospaced. So it is important that you first create a code block by coming to the format text button, choosing monospaced, a block is created, and then type or paste your code inside this particular block. So this is how you can very conveniently insert code blocks inside your notes and make them look really distinct. Now clicking these three dots over here, you can click on this edit in a separate window if you wanted to. If you had two screens, for example, you can move this window to the other screen and always have it in your watch. And this is the exact same note. And when you click on this window, it'll collapse back again into the library. So what you can also do is to create tags available from here as well as here. So you can just come here and click on the plus sign and add some of your tags. And what you can also do is to also relate other notes that are connected to this note. So you can just click on this and check out if there are any notes that might be connected to this particular note. So as you can see, I have two here. So one is a guide to standard deviation and a guide to what is variance. So I think these might be helpful reference when somebody is reading this particular note. So I'm going to come here and choose both of them and then go ahead and click on select. So you will see that two notes are now related. And whenever I'm reading this note, I have access to these two notes as well. I can go ahead and click on them and read what is inside these notes as well. Now there's a remarkable thing that I wish to show you here. I linked these two notes to my guide to Z-score note. So whenever I read this note, I can access these two notes as well. But just see what has happened as I open these linked notes. So let me open this note. So what I see here is that this note is automatically backlinked to my guide to Z-score note. Likewise, for my second note, backlinked automatically to the Z-score note. So this kind of note backlinking is seen in dedicated note-taking apps and is super useful in creating an interconnected web of documents. This backlinking emulates the famous Zettel-Kasten note-taking technique, which emphasizes connection over collection. This is a truly remarkable feature that many would just miss at first glance, and I compliment the Zotero developers for including this. Finally, we can bunch all our standalone notes inside one collection, as we did for presentations in the earlier lesson. So just come here and click on the new collection button and just simply say my notes and create the collection and go back to my library. And then pressing Control, choose these notes. These are all standalone notes. And then just drag them and drop them on my notes. So these notes are now visible from inside this particular My Notes collection as well. They're all bunched at one place for you to easily reference. And they're also available from inside my library. So this brings us to the end of this lesson. Note-taking is a really important part of reading and creating your knowledge repository. As we have seen, Zotero provides some great tools to create rich notes. In the next lesson, we will see how we can insert citations from our Zotero library in MS Word, LibreOffice, and Google Documents, and how we can automatically create styled bibliography in seconds. We will also see how we can directly paste notes from Zotero in our documents. I hope you found this lesson useful. I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson of this Zotero 7 series. Thanks for watching.